UW. I'm running for this position because I've seen the impact that students can have on the university. We stopped differential tuition, we froze tuition, and I'm really excited to pursue our next ambitious goal, affordable tuition. Additionally, next year I will strengthen the scope of the student voice across campus, both within ASUW and at the administrative level. Once again, my name is Haley Badger, and I'm running for Director of University Affairs with Ignite UW.
Hi, my name is Austin Wright Pettybo, and I'm running to be our next ASUW Director of University Affairs. As this year's Director of University Affairs for the Graduate and Professional Student Senate, I've worked to unite the graduate community and pursue policies in support of graduate student priorities. Transitioning to ASUW, I'd like to work to maintain our tuition freeze while also working to improve the academic experience by critically evaluating our TA training programs. As UA next year, I want to bridge the gap between disconnected communities to create a stronger student advocacy and unite around our Husky vision. Thank you.
I'm Erin, and Austin, your first question. We have a community of over 35,000 potential leaders on our campus. How do you plan to tap into that potential, specifically in the communities represented today, as you advocate for students' interests and encourage students to get involved in the university committees you chair or are a part of?
Yeah. No, on so many levels, this is a hugely important issue. Whether it's on the graduate or the undergraduate level, it hits every point. And I've loved being able to work at the graduate level with our secretary who coordinates our diversity efforts, as well as our treasurer who deals with a lot of different communities on campus. Similarly, I want to work at the undergraduate level and the graduate level with our director of diversity efforts and with our director of community relations to see how we can reach out to all the different communities, create some stronger networks of communication that go both in and out, and bring together the different communities.
Thank you. I'll ask you a question. We have a community of over 35,000 potential leaders on our campus. How do you plan to tap into that potential, specifically in the communities represented today, as you advocate for students' interests and encourage students to get involved in the university committees you chair or are a part of?
All right, yeah, I think that it's really important that the individuals we recruit to be on these university committees are excited and passionate about what they're doing. And the first step to that is outreach. So I really want to, to echo some things that Austin said, collaborate heavily with the Director of Community Relations and also the Director of Diversity Efforts, just to make sure we're advertising these opportunities to as many communities as possible, because I feel like a lot of times people don't know that these committees exist or that there are positions open on them. And I think that if we reach out to different communities, both within the Greek community and also our CSA and those areas, we can break the habit that people getting involved with these university committees are already people who are involved with ASUW. So something I want to really work on is bringing in, fresh faces to the association and bring in just more individuals to the decision-making process.
Hi, too. My name is Luke Picking. I'm with the Interfraternity Council. This is going to Haley. So what experience do you have working with university faculty and administration?
Well, my 2 years of experience in the Student Senate has given me several opportunities to work directly with faculty and administration. One example is I recently met with the CFO of the athletics department, and I found that meeting to be very valuable for several reasons. One of the reasons was it made me realize that meetings like this should be happening more often. I feel like a lot of the time students don't think that they can directly communicate with the administration, but what I realized is this isn't the case. Typically, administrators are very willing to talk with students and hear their ideas. So something I want to work on next year is, as Director of University Affairs, is not only continuing to have those conversations with myself and advocating for students, but also empowering students to take the initiative to talk with administrators themselves and end that perceived disconnect that exists between students and administration.
So, Austin, I'll repeat a question for you. What experience do you have working with university faculty and administration?
Yeah. Well, as the Director of University Affairs for the Graduate and Professional Student Senate, it's my job to be the liaison between graduate students and various administration figures. And whether that means going to the Provost Advisory Committee for students or meeting with the Vice President for Student Life or the other senior administrators, the networks are well established. But when I conceive of the role of Director of University Affairs, it's not enough for me to have those well-established networks. We need to broaden those out and see how we can strengthen networks for all students. And that means working together again with the Director of Diversity Efforts, the Director of Community Relations, outreaching to boards like the Student Advisory Board for the Office of Minority Affairs, seeing how we can integrate all of these different communities to strengthen the relationships that individual students have with the administrators and expand our conversations. I'd say that big changes happen when big conversations happen, and that leads to institutional changes. Mine? Okay, cool. Sorry. When we think of the Director of University Affairs, we tend to think of a position that's very insular or at least isolated from a lot of the student community. And in my experience, this is so far from the case. The Director of University Affairs is a position that's at its strongest when we can work to talk with other students and integrate the student opinion. That's one thing that I'm really passionate about. It's one thing I've worked really hard at the graduate community, and it's one thing I'd like to continue working next year. Thank you.
Students are not just consumers of higher education. We are stakeholders in it. By ensuring that strong networks of communication exist between different student groups, such as the Provost Advisory Committee for Students, Student Senate, college councils, as well as SAB, I will ensure that all student voices are being represented at all decision-making levels of the university. Again, my name is Haley Badger, and I'm running for Director of University Affairs with Ignite UW. Thank you.